We are absolutely live tonight. We're filming and it's just Salo and I. We're going back to the old school days. When the first podcasting days when it was just the two of us. Do I have to sing the song? Yeah. Do I have just the two of us making podcasts every day? Okay. So we'll welcome you to the broadcast. It is Tuesday night. It's about 7 o'clock. There are a lot of things happening tonight. So thank you if you tuned in. We didn't do much in the way of advertising or putting out information about tonight's broadcast. We have had a busy week, and we've kind of really hit some weighty subjects and topics with votes, ballot initiatives, propositions that have been happening over the last couple of weeks in our last few meetings. So we're just taking it easy tonight. I want to kind of recap everything for you about these ballot items. This is one kind of final walkthrough about what we're going to be looking at when you go to vote over the next 2 weeks, and then on Election Day on November 3rd. And we're just going to recap some crazy items, see what people are thinking. Just kind of have a little bit of fun, do some memes tonight. I did put some in the Dropbox if you see them. If not, hey, it's okay. You know, Sal always brings out something crazy in the end. But tonight's just an easygoing, just talk, recap, and just have a good time and make sure we hit up a few key points about what in the world is happening in our city. Where are we going? What is our future? And what's going to happen on November 3rd? Of course, we're in the midst of the greatest election cycle this country has seen in decades, right? Possibly forever, but we are in the midst of the middle of early voting, and things are just going crazy across the state. And of course, people are campaigning right and left, trying to win seats. We're going to talk about some of that as well. The president, Sal and I are going to talk a little bit further on odds on what's it looking like in the White House, what's it looking like in Texas, how the vote's going, and here and there. Just a little bit about everything. Well, tonight we'll just hit a few key points. But as always, we want to thank our sponsors. Now, for months, I have been I'm going to be honest with you. I've made some comments about AAA Garcia bail bonds. I love my boy Louis Garcia. He's a big sponsor of us, always takes care of us, and we said we got to upgrade his logo. He actually has a new look logo for himself, and I actually like this one. This one's now starting to get a little bit better. Can you put it up there for him? There he is right there. Look, and that is actually a very true graphic representation, almost, of Louis Garcia of AAA Garcia bail bonds. And we always joke, of course, that Louis will be the first to get you out of jail if you're not accidentally released by Sheriff Javier Salazar and his team. If they don't accidentally let you go, Louis Garcia is going to jump right in to take care of you. Family-owned business. Louis, we love you, man. We especially like you pulling off the Superman bail bondsman, and of course 210-888-BOND. And I think Louis, if I'm not mistaken, is actually the only bail bondsman outside of Loop 410. Oh wow! Maybe, I don't know. I think that's what I heard. Like, he's literally outside of downtown or near the downtown center core area. Louis off of Bandera and 410, and I think he's opened up a couple other offices. This guy's taking care of people all over South Central Texas. We love you, brother. Mike Mahalski? Yeah. All right, well, while people are logging on, make sure you tell us if you have voted, put it in the comments. Curious about where you voted in the city, but if you voted, put it in there. Tell us what you're thinking. What side of town are you calling from right now? Where did you vote? We're in the middle of it. If you haven't voted yet, put it in there and say, hey, man, I'm an Election Day voter. I'm waiting to go in and pull the trigger. I don't know yet. Haven't voted, yes. And if you want to tell us who you pulled the trigger for, go ahead and let us know in there, too. If you voted for the president, or you're working a Joe Biden, riding with Biden, take it all the way down to what's happening locally right here. Have you voted? Put it in the comments. Let us know. And where did you vote? It'd be important to us. And what council district are you from across the city? So thank you, Louis Garcia. We love you, man. And now we also have to thank Align Mortgage of Texas. So we film our podcast here at Align Mortgage of Texas. And we are absolutely blessed by Chris Cano, Tony Diaz, and Cody Carrasquillo. They're the owners of Align Mortgage. And they put together a company that purely helps people buy a home. And if you're a veteran, this is the place for you to call. They are predominantly, I don't know, 75, 80% of what they do is veteran focused. It's just who they are as a business, as a company, helping veterans own a piece of the land they help defend. That's Align Mortgage of Texas. I'm proud to always be a part of what they're doing here and working and podcasting out of this office on Tuesday nights. We're just thankful for them. And you look at it right there in their logo, faith, family, coworkers, and community. Faith leading that off right off the top, I think, is one of the most interesting testaments to any business you can say. When they lead with faith, I think that says a lot about Ally Mortgage. So if you're a vet, you want to buy a home, you want to refinance, give them a call, reach out. We love these guys, and we're very appreciative of the time and opportunity in this wonderful space they give us to work our magic on the podcast magic. So thank you, Chris and team. We appreciate you as always. We also want to thank our couple of realtor buddies here, Brian Pena of Torado Group, Remax Realty. Brian is the man. He is a handsome devil, and if you put that phone number in your cell phone right there, give him a call or text and tell him you need some questions answered about buying a home. This guy is always going to help out because he cares about people. I've worked with him on different loans. He's a fantastic man, family man, and of course, a realtor. We appreciate him always jumping in, helping out wherever possible. And then, of course, Susan Bielicki from eXp Realty. Ray Rodriguez's daughter here. Ray Rodriguez is one of our biggest followers on the podcast, has been a friend for years. Old Highway 90 leadership, Ray Rodriguez, but Susan, his daughter, is a realtor in San Antonio, a relocation specialist for military families. So if you need something, has anything to do with that veteran circle right there, mortgage, real estate, you're looking for a good realtor, give her a call. Please do. When you look at both of them, it's good to shop, right? If you're going to get out there and talk to people, give them both a holler and see what you fit best with. Because the truth is, oftentimes, as you're shopping and you're trying to find a relationship like that, it's about, especially when it's in the realtor world, it's about fit and feel and how you work with others and if it's a good, really family or partnership. So give them a call, reach out to them, let them know. We appreciate them. And our buddy Tyler Hall from Speedy Salt, we just love Tyler. Can't get enough of this cat. I think he's out right now delivering salt. Yep. He probably is, right? This guy started his own business. Tyler, I forgot to tell you, man, I need a bag of salt. So we got to get on the deliveries. That's actually legitimately true, which I probably, if my wife is watching, just reminded her I had not ordered the salt yet. But Tyler, I need the salt. But give him a call. Tyler Hall is the man. We appreciate him. He always helps us out on the show. But he's starting his own business. He literally delivers the salt to you on a rotating basis. He's fantastic. It's a great company, great startup. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you for all you do. So, real quick, there was some news today. Ray Rodriguez with Trump 2020. Trump, my wife and I voted. Great Northwest Library, 20-minute wait. Look at it, saying where they're going to go up to the top. Bonnie Connor's in. Mike Mahalski, brother, we love you. Where else we have there? November 3rd, Trump 20. Got some Trump right there. Voted Friday, Leon Valley District. Trump voted at the Great Northwest. Maury Maverick. So usually there's 3 to 4 poll sites that have the highest turnout. It's usually Brook Hollow up off of 281. The Great Northwest right off of Culebra Road in Grissom is a huge box as well. Top 10 box. Ed Cody up off of Vance Jackson, the library there. John Igo. Maury Maverick off of Bandera and Mystic Park. That's a huge polling site as well. So during early vote, don't forget, actually nowadays, you can vote at any polling site you want. You have to go in there. You have to spend the time. We're seeing a lot of things on the news about long waits, but we're seeing people here say, look, Tobin, 0 wait. It's all about picking where you go. If you can go vote anywhere, voted yesterday, Renee Hilgendorf Townsend right there at Great Northwest. There was a line, but it moved right along. Brook Hollow, 26 minutes. So people are lining up. If you watch news, people are lining up all around the corners to make this happen. But numbers are trending the same as they were in 2016, right? 2016, District 6 is in the house. There's another Great Northwest Library. Viva Old Highway 90, I love it. Someone voted for Kanye West. Ernest, here's to you voting for Kanye West. Ernest, love you, brother. Great vote. Mission Library, line no wait. So from Andy down there, the Mission Library, of course, on the southeast side of town. Look, all these voting boxes you can go to and vote anywhere. Now, there's no straight ticket voting either. So you can get and download a ballot at the Bexar County Elections Department online. You can download it, you can view it, you can check it and be ready when you go into the polling site so you know what you're about to face. This ballot's 5 to 6 pages long. It's a lot of buttons, and you cannot go in there and simply push the button for full Republican or Democrat. I'm not a straight ticket voter like that, never have been. I always look, and I do a little bit of research to make sure I understand who I'm voting for and what the issues are. But in your case, if you have been a straight ticket voter, those days are gone. So gone. So now you have to go in there prepared. The state legislature and the governor a couple years ago removed straight ticket voting out of the state. So it passed and went into implementation this year. So you cannot straight ticket vote. Be prepared and save your time. And be thoughtful of other people in line trying to vote. Because if you don't have any clue and you walk in and you're sitting there going through each one of them, taking your time, it can extend voting lines as well. And we've got a lot of people out there. Now, initially at the start of early vote, all these people are rushing. In the first 2 days, we saw geez, we saw lines around the corner. We saw 2-hour wait lines. I mean, we've seen that on the news, but it appears as though these numbers start to level out over the next couple of weeks. And remember, early vote started on the 13th, and it goes through October 30th. So the governor extended early vote by a full week. So there's extra time to early vote. But what normally happens is there's a high uptick at the beginning, right? People come in and look, man, people are jazzed about coming to vote right now. There is so much energy, it's palpable, right? So people have been wanting this vote and this opportunity to come out and say they hate Donald Trump with their vote, or they love him, or they're standing up for their community, whatever their piece is. The hype has been there. So we saw heavy turnout at the beginning. And what will normally happen is over the next few days, that turnout, as it has been, will start to decrease and level off through the end of early voting. And in the last 2 days of early voting, which is at the end of the 29th and 30th of this month, you'll see it skyrocket. And all of a sudden, everybody's uncle goes out on the 30th to try to get in to vote. And it will be jammed up. So if you know what's wise for you and you have the time and opportunity, get out over the next few days and vote, right? Save yourself the hassle of going when it is incredibly busy. And it also helps the poll workers and everybody who are out there doing their jobs trying to take care of a safe public vote when there's plenty of room and opportunity and time. If you wait to the end, I guarantee you it's going to be a 2 to 3 hour wait, because that last 2 days is going to get blitzed. There's absolutely no doubt about it. And if you go on election day, be prepared. It is going to be a madhouse as well. November 3rd is going to be, we got to do a watch party, Salo. We're going to have to pull up the big screen and just be prepared for what's going to happen that night. And the prognosticating is this is a Joe Biden blowout, and it's coming, and we're going to see. And the president's doing all he can to tighten that, to close that gap, tighten those numbers up. But you know what? He has shown a remarkable grasp. I'll be honest with you. Salo doesn't agree with me on this one. But I think the president has shown a remarkable grasp of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Like if he can screw up his reelection, it seems to be like it has been his lot the last 2 months to do exactly that. And that's what has made this thing into some national polls an 11 to 13 point lead for Vice President Biden. And the president seems to be struggling. But then you go and break it down at the state level, and the numbers are tighter. We're talking margin of error type stuff here. Many people are saying this thing's going to be over within the first hour on November 3rd. The election's already going to be called. But, we saw that in 2016, man, and here we go. Numbers are not trending all that differently from 2016. 65 plus is the average age group here that's out and voting. We're not seeing heavy millennial turnout. It's not happening. All these young folks and all these people that get registered to vote and all these activist groups trying to get people out to vote, it's not happening right now to the extent that they were hoping for. That doesn't mean they don't come out and vote. What I've been hearing and seeing is that people don't want to send in their mail ballots. That's an eye-opener. They're not sending in their mail ballots. They're literally going into the polls with their mail ballot to vote. We're seeing a lot of that. That's a lot of difference. And the Republicans especially don't trust the U.S. Postal Service at all now. And they're taking their ballots in and then they're voting in person, right? So they don't want to put their ballot in the mail. So we're seeing a lot of that happening right now. That's something that jumps out at us. The fact that the demographics still stay the same, 65 plus is the target age voting group. We're going to see the highest turnout from, We're going to see the highest turnout from districts 8, 9, and 10. We always will, and these will be the leading districts and the leading vote getters. So I think that's what we're going to see over the next few weeks. And then it's going to be, look, the Democrats are always going to win the voter turnout, but Republicans are holding tight right now. Statewide, Republicans are trending higher now finally than Democrats. But there is a large contingent. I saw some numbers yesterday that showed about 29% were independent voters in the state of Texas. Republicans were trailing. Of course, Republicans at about 29 to 30 and Democrats at about 28. So that independent contingent, if there's 28, 29% of independents out there voting right now, that's got to be a scary number for both sides, right? So we're going to have to keep our eyes on that and see how it kind of plays out. Where are these independents breaking and how does it look like? But look, it's a fantastic time. You've got to get out and vote. We see people are out there. Polls are garbage, Kara. You're absolutely right. We've seen that. And I don't doubt, right, that the polls are inflated. We know that for a fact. But it is in a position where we have to pay attention to what's going on. The only poll that's going to matter is on Election Day, November 3rd. Get out and vote. All poll sites are open. No straight ticket voting. jump in, be prepared, download from Bexar County Elections Department the sample ballot, go in and push the button for whoever in the world you want to vote for, man. It doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it. You could tell us nothing, you could tell us everything, and you could be absolutely lying to us. It is a private vote, and you get the chance to go in there and push the button for whatever change it is you've been advocating for, and that's all that matters, right? And go and do your civic duty. I love to vote on Election Day. I try to almost all the time because to me it's exciting. It's fun. It's exciting to go on Election Day and make it happen. But you may want to get out early because you don't want to wait in them 2-hour lines in this COVID pandemic area, and you want to make it happen. Get out there, vote, and push that button. We're excited. It's a great time for the country. Contrary to what people say in politics, and we're going to get into some of this stuff here on these ballot propositions right now. Contrary to what some people say about our country, right? There are many people who trash our country, who trash our city. It's a racist country or racist city. It's systemically broken. You can go right down the list. The haves and the have-nots, the economic segregation, the wage segregation. Whatever excuse they use, right? The cops, police officers need to be defunded and reined in. All this language that demeans our community, right? That beats up who we are and what we have been for hundreds of years, right? Since the existence of our country. I got to tell you, I don't buy into any of it. Can we do better in a lot of these things? Yes. That's why we get a chance to vote every 2 years or every 4 years for president, every 2 years for Congress, right? And a third of our senators. Every 2 years we vote for them, every 4 years for president. But we have a wonderful opportunity to get out there and try to make something happen and try to do something different with that vote. And I don't buy in any crap that San Antonio is not a great city. I don't think we're this racist community. We don't have a broken and busted, systemically racist police department. We can go right down the line. What we have is a problem with priorities and where we're spending our money. We'll talk about that. But at the end of the day, you got to love the community we live in. And I love San Antonio, as I know Salo does, and many of my friends and the people who have been with me in politics or just doing podcasting or whatever. We appreciate our community. Let's not lose sight of that and get out and vote for who we believe in. If you think the path is right at the city, go pull the trigger. That's fine. I support you 100%. If you think you need a change in it and you're not going and voting, shame on you. We elect people. Now, pay attention, and I'm going to stop my rant on this one. We elect people with our inaction. That's what I want you to think of if you haven't voted yet. Now, what does that mean, Greg? What does it mean? I say if you don't go vote, you are electing somebody by not voting. It's very clear. If you actually say, well, I'm partial to the president, but he annoys the crap out of me, I don't want to vote for him. I can't vote for Joe Biden, so I'm just staying home. I'm going to ignore that, not push the trigger for this person or whatever. I'm so sick of it, I'm going to stay out of it. That's one less vote one of them other has to get, right? So your inaction, your apathy elects people. And sometimes when you're in the city of San Antonio and it's like a city election and it's 17% turnout or 13% turnout, you not turning out and voting has elected the person you most likely will have a problem with when they're holding the public office. When we talk about our national elections, sure, we're going to get 50% plus turnout. But the other 40 or 30% that stay home, you don't really have a right to complain about it if you haven't gone out and made something happen and tried to push that button to choose whoever it is. So you think by being active, you elect people. I'm here to tell you, you are just as much electing someone by being inactive and showing your apathy by not even using the public vote. So get out there and make it happen. I'm done with that. Make sure you vote. It matters. That's the end of it. So word of Cara Don. I've lost faith and interest in WAI. We're going to talk about some media sources here in a second. Ray Rodriguez, I here. Voted on Friday at OLLU. 5-minute wait. Frank Lopez down in District 5. What time will be crazy on Election Day? What wait time will be? Elaine's absolutely right. You're gonna be stuck for hours on Election Day. I actually like it, so I don't mind going and do it. But most people aren't going to appreciate. It's exciting. It's exciting. Let's talk some ballot initiative items. So I've been sending out some material, of course, and I enjoy talking about these ballot propositions. There are 3 taxation ballot propositions on the city and county ballot. The city is up for pre-K for SA. We've talked about that. We had Clayton Perry on last week. Pre-K for SA is Proposition A. It's a 1/8 cent sales tax renewal. 1/8 cent sales tax renewal for pre-K for SA, about $40 to $45 million a year. Remember, 8 years ago, we voted for pre-K for SA and enacted it. Now it's up for renewal for another 8 years. Take a look at that one. Clayton Perry hit that last week, and it's not, in my opinion, it's not new tax. I'm going to talk about what these things are from a new taxation perspective. Pre-K is already authorized, and it's asking for a reauthorization of their tax. We know the program. We understand it. People can be presented with the facts, and they can make a choice on pre-K. The other two ballot initiatives, the Mayor's Workforce Training Program is City Proposition B, and VIA, the Advanced Transportation District, is Countywide Proposition A. But it's basically VIA and Workforce. And those two propositions, I'm going to recap them just so everybody has the points. And if you want some of this material, don't hesitate to reach out. I'll PDF it to you, but I've been pushing and showing this one out there. So this taxpayer voter guide is talking about basic new facts, new tax facts. And I'm going to read it. Can you put that one up there? I think you may have it. There it is right there. So here's the key facts to recap the workforce training program. Now, mind you, I want to be very clear here. Aquifer protection and linear parks have been removed from the sales tax program. So they cut aquifer protection, which aquifer protection is as old as the city of San Antonio, man. We have been talking about aquifer protection for hundreds of years in this community. Ron Nirenberg kicked it off the ballot, did not want to reauthorize it, and he did not want to reauthorize linear park spending as well. Now, there was a pseudo compromise, and they came up with some funding out of different taxation items, different bonding dollars, to put $100 million over 10 years into aquifer protection. It is minuscule. It's less than 25%, of what the original funding was. So the bottom line is they cut out aquifer sales tax, and they removed linear parks funding. Linear parks funding has zero money going towards it in the future. And if you've enjoyed anything during this pandemic, I'll tell you one thing my family and I have enjoyed is getting out on the linear creeks and the parkways and the greenways, the park trail system, and riding our bikes up and through, down and across from the rim all the way down to the south side of San Antonio to the Missions. You name it. Those trails are going over 30, 40 miles, and it is fantastic. And in a pandemic-stricken environment where social distancing matters, parks matter now more than ever, especially our linear creekway system. And that started as far back as Howard Peak 25 plus years ago. So they cut that out, and they can't dispute that fact. They eliminated further funding for our park system. Now, they'll tell you, well, the county, I keep hitting it? Yeah. Now they'll tell you that the county promised, right, that they're going to fund it. That's absolutely not true. All the county said is they're going to look into it. So there is no funding for linear parks going forward. None of it right now. The fact the county has said there's other articles, and we could put them up later, we have in the past, that will clearly show that the county has said we don't have the money to do it, we don't know where we're going to get it. So they cut parks funding in the linear parks, and then they turned around the aquifer and rejected that as well, a program that has received wild numbers from approval ratings. I'm talking 65% plus approval rating for the aquifer protection dollars. And that has been routinely passed and approved by this city. Rarely gets a lot of negativity, but the mayor kicked it off the ballot for his workforce program. So can you put that back up real quick? Let's go over just the basic facts right here. These are new taxes. These are not old taxes or old dollars or anything of the sort, whatever you want to call it. It's not a reallocation. Don't buy their garbage. I'm going to tell you right now, the city of San Antonio and their leadership, right, City Hall, the mayor, they're lying to you. These are not reallocated dollars. These are new tax programs. You cannot separate the tax dollars from the program. They go hand in hand. Otherwise, why in the world do we even care what you're spending? Just tell us, Ron and City Council, you just want $45 million a year. We'll vote on it. Do whatever the hell you want to do with it, guys. That's not how this works. The minute you took away aquifer funding and parks funding, the minute you took that away, you now have lowered the sales tax rate. And by lowering the sales tax rate, right now, if you vote no on these initiatives, you will get the first tax cut to the sales tax rate in decades in the city of San Antonio. So don't fall for the crap that this is not a new tax, it's a reallocation. Their main argument, folks, and you can't, this is so ridiculous. Their main argument is, well, you're already spending it, so shut up and keep spending it. That's their argument. No, Brockhouse, these aren't new taxes. You're lying. I'm sorry. They are new tax programs and new taxes being spent on these propositions. You cannot run from that fact. You cannot say the program is separate from the dollars. That is disingenuous and that is lying. It's not like pre-K. Pre-K is a reallocation. It's a reauthorization, but it's an existing program with existing tax dollars. So the city is straight up lying to you, and so is the mayor. These programs are brand new, and you have a right to say no to them. Here's some facts about them. These are new taxes. The Aquifer and Linear Parks funding was cut. It is $40 to $45 million in spending. It was rushed to the ballot. This is 100% true with little to no public input. Does nothing for pandemic relief for years. Now, one of the disingenuous things that they're selling you on is that this is pandemic relief. This is not, mark my words, pandemic relief. When I think about pandemic relief, in my humble opinion, it is dollars allocated and resources allocated to employing and fixing our economic situation, our employment situation, and our health and benefit situation in the now. Now. Immediately. Not years from now. The mayor's workforce program doesn't start until the fall of 2021. VIA will not start their taxation until January of 2026. None of these programs help anybody right now. None of them do. This is not pandemic relief. This is social reengineering from City Hall, period. They are pet projects that the mayor and some of his cronies want to pass to pad their resume for the next possible job. Let's not beat around the bush on exactly what this is. Here are some key facts about Proposition B, the workforce program. There's no small business help in this whatsoever. It creates no new jobs. Less than 1.5% of San Antonio residents will be helped. The program doesn't start till the fall of 2021. Folks, they are paying for car repairs, gas money, daycare, stipends. It is out of control. This is beyond pandemic relief. This is social network change. This is social reengineering so that we're basically taking a very small percentage of this community. It's actually about 1.3% of the community. And we're paying all their bills. We're going to pay their rent to go to school at the end of 2021 for 2 years or a 4-year degree. Now, look, we have all struggled. We get student loans, education. We get the cost of that. It's expensive. We understand that. This is not the answer, though. Almost 50%, like on this right here, it says 30% of participants will not finish the program. Think about that. This is about $150 to $160 million into the mayor's workforce program for the next 4 years. It's about $40 to $45 million a year. 50% is now the word will not complete the program. 30% I have on there, but it's now been found out. Clayton Perry told us last week, 50% will not finish the program. So $75 million straight gone. No payback, no degree, no nothing. There's no clawback mechanism for people who don't complete these items. All we've successfully done at that point is paid their rent, paid their car payments. We fixed their cars on their car repairs for them. We gave them gas cards. We're so much in love with VIA, allegedly, but yet the mayor wants to give people gas cards for their private vehicles. Why, Ron Nirenberg, are we paying people with gas cards? Shouldn't we be commanding them to ride the bus? Why on earth are we wasting millions on paying people's car repairs, gas cards, their daycare? I mean, this is a social project. This is not pandemic relief. And there's no guaranteed jobs at the end of this. We don't even know what these jobs are going to look like 2, 4, 5 years. We don't know what jobs are going to look like 2 months from now. That's what COVID-19 has done to our community. And then on Proposition A for the VIA side, pop that one back up real quick. So the VIA, we don't need any more empty buses. The tax starts in 2026. Folks, it never ends. VIA's tax will go into perpetuity. Never ends, never to be taken back. Voting to tax yourself in the future, no help for users now, no plan presented for the tax usage, and no idea where transportation will be in 5 years. I'm going to show you a graphic that's going to blow your mind. All right, this is very important before I talk further about the mayor's workforce program. This is a very important graphic. It took me a little bit of time, found some other articles, did some source and proofing on it, but can you put up the graphic for the truth about VIA ridership? Should say VIA. Got it. Aha, here it comes, folks. Put that one up. Oh, man. This one will blow your mind. This is what the city of San Antonio and VIA are trying to pull on you. Last week, we broke some news about from a whistleblower about the large amount of tax dollars being spent on $300 lunches at the Palm, $1,000 PowerPoint edits. VIA is getting charged to write talking points for elected officials because they apparently cannot write their own talking points. Justin Rodriguez is a perfect example of that. Ray Saldana, Bob Como. They had other people at VIA writing their talking points for them, which were getting farmed out by the thousands of dollars to pay for people's PowerPoint edits, their talking points. Totally ridiculous. Hundreds of thousands of dollars of spending that VIA was getting charged by a third-party marketing firm. Never mind the fact VIA has a $2.5 million marketing budget. They outsourced hundreds of thousands of dollars through a third-party firm to pay for things like $300 lunches at the Palm. And as usual, the San Antonio media doesn't talk about these things. KSAT, the Express News, a lot of these places, they just scratch the surface of it, but they're never going to say anything negative about City Hall because they're bought and paid for. I mean, that's what they are. Essentially, that's exactly what they are. Whether it's through advertising and they want to piss off people or they don't want to lose their access, nobody has the guts anymore in the San Antonio media, I guess, to challenge City Hall. Now, if you challenge City Hall as a citizen or you try to run for office, the paper is more, right? The Express News and some of these other, some of these other media outlets, I use that term loosely, would be more than happy to shred you to pieces if you try to challenge the system. They'll call you every name in the book. TPR, David Martin Davies, fools like that who will do anything they can to shred you to pieces, right? Because most likely because you're a Republican or you're a conservative. I'm going to talk about that here in a little bit. We have a biased fake news establishment in the city of San Antonio. We're going to cover that in a second. And this is the crap they're hiding from you. The Rivard Report tried to push this out, and then they got called and asked to change it by VIA because VIA was upset about the truth about their ridership. Look at this graph. In 2012, VIA's budget was $171.4 million. They had 46.8 million riders. Not bad, VIA. In 2020, their budget is now $238.9 million. Wow. $67.5 million more dollars in budget. Look at the numbers of riders VIA has dropped. 10 million riders gone from VIA. VIA's funding is increasing. VIA's ridership is decreasing. You cannot run or hide from this fact. I'm sorry. You cannot run from this. This is absolutely VIA's numbers. Why do you need more money? Now, VIA will say, well, on these routes over here, on these 8 routes, when we increase spending, more people used them. So this little tiny percentage here is proof that we need more money. No. Your budget is drastically increased and your ridership has drastically decreased. You cannot run from it. This is about as damning a chart when it comes to VIA's ask for more money as you could possibly imagine. This tells the whole story. Decreasing ridership. That's why the jokes about empty buses stick. Because people know people aren't riding the bus. So you got to vote no on Proposition 8. We got to go back to the drawing board and helping VIA. I am a VIA supporter. Don't get me wrong. On the city council, I supported them. When I ran for mayor, I felt like we needed to support them and raise their funding. I was 100% on board with that. COVID-19 has changed all of that, and the city budget has been blitzed. It's been annihilated. Now the dollars, more than ever, have to go to what matters most, right? The basics. If it goes to those basics, then we get the simple work done first, and then we get going on other items, like putting more cash into VIA or helping to modernize whatever their piece is. Now is not the time to do it. right? COVID-19 has changed all of that from a funding perspective. But you cannot get away from this and the fact that fewer people are riding VIA now more than ever. And they'll do all they can to hide this fact. I was told by a source that the Rivard report, or now the San Antonio report, printed exactly these facts, and they were called by VIA and basically directed to change it, right? Or there was going to be problems. And by the way, VIA and the city both advertise on the San Antonio report, in the Express News, and all these other news sources. So not that it's a ton of money at all by any means, but VIA hated the fact that their true ridership dollars, their true ridership numbers were advertised as decreasing over a 10-year period. You cannot run from that, VIA. You cannot run from it. I'm sorry. You don't. The graph itself says you've got enough money. Then it becomes about the leadership, the focus, and the dollars. I'd rather see the cash going anywhere right now, protecting water, protecting parks, job creation now, and small business support. Those 4 items right now are going to put people back to work and keep them safe and give them a life, right? People say, parks, man, why do we put money into parks? We have learned that parks give people an opportunity to socially distance and be a part of life, not cooped up in the house. Because watch what's going to happen in the fall. COVID-19 cases are going to spike. People are back in their homes. They're sheltered because it's cold. Transmission. We see that coming. That's why people are freaking out about an increase this fall, because people are going to go back to the sheltered lifestyle and they're going to start spreading COVID-19. Here's one of the bigger questions. And I was talking to another source, another good friend of mine, and she said she got information finally from the city of San Antonio that stated very clearly restaurants and bars are not super spreaders in the city of San Antonio. There are no contact tracing indications that super spreading or spreading of COVID-19 has occurred in restaurants or bars. It's happening in homes, it's happening in families, it's happening in different environments like that, but restaurants and bars, not part of it. That fact's not coming out in the mainstream media. There are a ton of opportunities for media to hold both sides accountable, and they don't. They simply go after anybody who challenges the norm or the system. They love to go after conservatives and Republicans. I'm sorry. They'll do you like that all day long. I'm going to show you a perfect example. But they hide stuff as basic as this, right? They're culpable in it. One other thing I want to make sure I also sending out. By the way, if you want any of these things, shoot me a direct message, put it on the page, let me know, and we'll get in there and send these to you so you can send them to your friends and your relationships, your family members as well. And then I have one more I've been putting up. Truth about Prop B. We already talked about this one. But look, the truth is, workforce training 2 years from now is not going to do anything for anybody right now. Pandemic relief is an immediate opportunity. People need to get back to work now. What are we going to say, right? Well, this money's going back to employment opportunities, and it's going to train somebody to be a bioscience engineer or whatever the hell job they're coming up with to try to sell it, right? Electrical engineering. We're going to train them into the jobs of the future, right? Green energy jobs, whatever fancy job they use. What we have in San Antonio and our leadership is a lot of job snobs. Job snob. A job snob is somebody, predominantly a progressive or a liberal. That's who that person is, who finds base labor work to be demeaning, right? They want to train everybody and spend your tax dollars and train people to push them into the jobs of the future. Meanwhile, right? So pandemic relief according to the progressive liberal Ron Nirenberg. Here's pandemic relief according to Ron. I'm going to train this person to be in the bioscience career field. I'm going to train them in energy and tech for the jobs of the future. Because the job they're doing right now, restaurant, service, janitorial, hospitality, hotel, those jobs right there, they're not good enough to invest in to bring back the San. No. We're going to train these 40,000 people who, by the way, only 20,000 will finish the program. We're going to train these people for the jobs of the future. So yeah, maybe they'll be lucky and get a job in 2 or 4 years. Meanwhile, those people who have lost their jobs right now get jack. Nothing. That's the fallacy of this workforce training program. The fallacy is we're training people for the future when the pain is right now. That's the truth. In a battlefield triage moment, let's say you're deployed to Afghanistan. You're in a firefight. You come in, you get shot up, and you know this is a battlefield moment. It's a triage moment. You go to the medical hospital. You're sitting there. Can you imagine the doctor saying, well, you know what? Yeah, I mean, he's been shot through the leg right there, and that's a real problem right there. Man, he's missing an arm. But you know what? He needs some dentistry work, and we want to make sure let's get him over to the dentist. No sense. That is exactly what's happening with workforce training. It's diagnosing a problem that hasn't started yet, right? You're thinking, well, I got to train into bioscience engineering. I've got to make sure the electrical work and the tech jobs are there for the future. Meanwhile, you're internally bleeding and dying, right, from the damage inflicted by the current state of our city. We need to be investing in small businesses who can go back out and hire. 80% plus of our city get their jobs out of small business. Come on, man. We got to be waiving their fees. We got to make it so they can expand. We got to make it so they can afford to pay. If a small business owner wants to pay paid sick leave, let's help them get there. We should be doing all we can, removing city barriers such as inspections, right? Decreasing those costs, helping people, decreasing their taxation, their commercial tax rates, whatever we can do to spur them to get back and hire now. Instead, we're asking HEB and USAA and all these other companies, Toyota, hey man, will you promise us you'll hire people in 2024? You got it. Of course we will. We'll be there, job in hand, waiting for you. Meanwhile, those families are in the damn food lines off of 151 at the food bank because they don't have work right now. That's the broken problem. Now, we can address it in different ways. We can find ways to handle food deserts. We can find ways to handle employment. We can target certain jobs right now. But you know who's right now out of work and struggling? Restaurant workers, hotel workers, bars, those small businesses, those people who want to employ people. But those aren't the fancy jobs that the liberal progressive Ron Nirenberg finds interesting enough to save. So he's willing to cut those loose and let them go. All for his resume padding workforce training program. And I get up pissed at this one because this is the wrong focus. Never mind the fact they want the $40 to $45 million a year to go to Project Quest to be managed by people, right? By groups like Cops Metro, who is an activist group here in San Antonio, been around for 25, 30 years, Cops Metro. What they do is they go around and threaten public officials to give them more money or else they're going to get pissed off and go try to unelect people. That's what they do. They want more cash for their Project Quest program, which they claim is a national model program for workforce training. It costs too much money, people don't graduate fast enough, and they're not accountable for their dollars. And now they want $40 to $45 million more dollars a year. Every year they go to the city council and try to complain to get another 3, 2, 1 million, whatever it is, and they'll literally sit across from you and threaten you. You're either with us or we're coming after your job. That's what they do. Right? So this is a highly political, it is a highly resume building type activity. The mayor wants his pre-K for SA. We had Julian Castro who went out there and started pre-K for SA, this national model. Now we got Ron Nirenberg begging to start his workforce training program so he can have his check mark on his resume. In the meantime, San Antonio doesn't change. The same neighborhoods that were broke and busted 40 years ago are the same ones that are broke and busted today. Via still the same old transportation problem, even though it's getting another $70 million. The same people who don't vote over the last 40 years are the same ones that get ignored and don't vote now. I can go right down the list of everything that has changed about this city and what really never changes about this city, right? Downtown and the cronies getting billions. And they have done it since, really, Julian Castro took office. That guy took office, started the decade to downtown, and destroyed our city. Destroyed it. Because it separated the haves from the have-nots by putting billions to the developers and other money men in this city. And there's always a joke that there's, 12 to 15 dudes that sit in the dark room and run this city. It's true. There's a group of people that sit in a dark room somewhere, and we know some of their names. And they sit back there and they pull the strings like they're masters of the universe. And they only want people at City Hall that are going to listen to them. And those people that get elected and go down there oftentimes sell out because they don't want to lose their job. But at the end of the day, people like Julian Castro destroyed our city under the guise of protecting our city. Because the proof is in the pudding. Why do we invest in all this growth under Julian Castro? We keep doing it under Ron Nirenberg. We started it as far back as Phil Hardberger. Why is all this money being invested? And San Antonio became the worst, most economically segregated city in the nation. How can, under Julian Castro, Ron Nirenberg, under their watches, how can the city of San Antonio grow to the poorest big city in the nation while the Pearl looks like it's billions of dollars of investment? Why is there a $250 million hotel next to the Tobin Center? Why is there a $25 million bridge going over Wurzbach Parkway or whatever it is for deer to cross over? Why does Gordon Hartman get super duper land deals? Why do these people continue to be successful and get? But at the same time, during their leadership, San Antonio has lost more than ever, becoming the poorest big city in America. How is that possible? And then these same people, Henry Cisneros, Gordon Hartman, SAWS board chairman, CPS Energy, all these people right down the line, Ron Nirenberg, they all come back and say, right? They all come back and say, I've got the answer to fix it. We can fix this. We just need another $150 million. We can do this. Excuse me, sir, Henry, Julian, why can you now fix it? Gordon Hartman. Gordon Hartman even had the nerve to say, we shouldn't even run against Ron Nirenberg. That's in such poor taste. This is no, man, with the pandemic, we don't need elections. We need to stop the elections. That's Gordon Hartman's idea because he's a Ron Nirenberg supporter. So that is literally their plan. But all these people are in charge when everything is going to shit. Then you come back and tell us you have the answer? I don't think so. And by the way, media, protecting these people all the time. You know who these media people are. They're out there protecting them, man. They have no shame about it either. Nobody holds these people to account. But if you come up as a challenger of the system or somebody who's got a problem with it and say, hey, hold on, I want to shine a light on that, then all of a sudden they're going to go after you. They can go after you with everything they've got. They'll destroy you personally. They'll go after your family. They'll go after whoever they need to make sure that nobody changes the system. Nobody messes with the equilibrium, right? People like Hartman and these other folks can continue to get. The Pearl, I mean, come on, can get billions. And you go down on the south side, and most of those streets haven't seen an improvement in 30 or 40 years. I don't know. Why do the same sides of San Antonio that look like streets from Afghanistan continue to look like Afghan streets 10, 20 years later? It's because the money is going to the people they want, and they don't stop taking. That's the bad part. They don't stop taking. They want to take with these new taxes for VIA and workforce. They want the money. Last week, CPS Energy came out and said, hold on, little doggies. We may need to do another tax increase. We may need another increase to the rates. SAWS rates have gone up 40%. Still going to go up another 20 or so percent over the next couple of years. Property tax rates. Nobody's property tax rates are decreasing. I can tell you that right now. So you got property tax rates going up. Sales tax going up. New tax programs. CPS Energy wanting more money. SAWS always wanting more money. When does it end? It doesn't. Once they get their death grip on your tax dollars, it never goes away. The death grip never stops. Like, is it that bad to say, well, you know what? let's just lower the sales tax rate. No, they'll turn around and tell you, how stupid are you? Because it's only $4 a month to you. Who cares? Why do you care? What does it even matter? You're already paying it, stupid. Keep paying. That's how they act. They act like it's their money, and shame on you if you challenge or say, I don't think that's the right piece. They'll come after you and say you shouldn't be challenging people, that we have all the answers. Two types of politicians in this world. One feels that they're elected to go down there and do the job and make all the decisions. That's why you elected them. You elected them to make the decisions. We got a lot of those people at City Hall right now, including the mayor. Arrogant dude. Thinks he has all the answers, smartest guy in the room. Usually only if he's the only person in the room, but he thinks he's the smartest guy in any room he goes into. So that is what we're dealing with. And then the second type of politician is the one that thinks they go down there to carry a message. Hey, I'm looking behind me, right? I'm looking to the side of me. These are the people I represent. This is the message I'm bringing. I know the pulse. I go down there and I deliver the message. Sometimes it's not even the message they feel comfortable with. They may not even fully believe in it. But if it's what the will of the people is, they go for it. And they get on board and they deliver the message of the 150 to 160,000 people they represent as a council person. There's a couple of those downtown. I may not agree with them, but you know what? There's two of them for sure. Clayton Perry, he loves to go down there and deliver the message. He knows where his residents are. And of course, Clayton and I, we agreed on a lot while on city council. The other one is Roberto Trevino. I'm not saying I agree with Roberto on everything. We've not agreed on several items. But that guy goes down there and delivers what he believes to be the message of District 1. And he's done that consistently. That's why he wins re-election over and over again. So they deliver the message. Some people down there, they just think, you sent me here, now I'm going to make the call. Get out of my way. We can't have that. We got to get better at it. So that's the daily rant right there. Let's see what we got here. Man, Trevor Whitney's on here, man. What did Trevor say? Because Rebecca Villagrán lives, I'll fix your sidewalks. It looks horrible in District 3. That's absolutely no joke. District 3's got some real infrastructure problems. Not a joke, brother. Watch. They literally have people stalking through my backyard when I ran against her. That's true. Those are parts of downtown that look like a third world country. There are parts of this city, period, that look like a third world country. What else we got? Anything out there? We need new blood from Elaine. Marxist playbook. That's no joke. D10 is looking really good lately. Very diverse small business community. So a lot of growth, a lot of opportunity. And here's one example, though. So I want to get into something real quick. But just get out and vote, right? That's a lot of information, a lot of talk, a lot of sarcasm, sure, because sometimes that's the only way to get the point across, is to be sarcastic about it or so blunt that people understand it's broke at City Hall. But the piece that comes with that is the media. Now, I don't normally like to amplify any stupid message from the Express News, but I want to talk about this one. Can you put up the Trish DeBerry graphic? So Trish DeBerry's been on the show a few times, and we've talked to her about her race for county commissioner in Precinct 3. By far the most qualified person. You may not agree, with everything Trish has done or working to pass on different projects in the city. I get it. She won the Republican nomination, was first going in, won in the primary, The primary piece came in, did well, came into a runoff against Tom Rickoff and blitzed him and pulled out the Republican nomination. The Express News, who, frankly, I don't even know why people go and ask them for their endorsement. Who cares? I mean, I'll never ask for the Express News endorsement ever again. They're just a ridiculous rag. But this is how I want to call out this hypocrisy. So they endorsed Trish DeBerry in the general election over her opponent, Christine Hortick. I don't know Miss Hortick. I've never talked to her in my life. She doesn't know the first thing about being a county commissioner. I'm just going to put that on the table. From a qualification understanding of the issues, massive difference between the two candidates. Trish DeBerry is head and shoulders above qualified, knows the issues. Christine Hortick, I don't know, maybe she just thought there's a Democratic wave coming. She literally has done nothing in a campaign. I mean, the campaign is about as poorly ran as you can possibly put together. Fine. Maybe she thought she was going to ride some sort of Democrat wave. She doesn't stand a chance. I mean, you got to run a credible campaign to get there. But you got to know the issues. Trish is head and shoulders above Christine Hortick on the issues. I've listened to them debate. I've listened to them talk. Removing personal bias that I endorse Trish DeBerry, just take that off the table. Listening to the two of them, you can clearly tell Trish DeBerry has a full command and grasp of the issues. Whether or not, you sit there and go line by line, I'm just telling you, she has the firm grasp. Now, Express News, you got to love these people. They endorse her and they say, oh, we've got some problems with her contracts. Trish has government contracts. She runs a marketing firm. Look, single mom, 2 teenagers, started her own business, 20 to 25 employees. She runs a marketing firm. She's a CEO. Started it from scratch. The Express News expected her to drop all of her public contracts prior to getting elected. Christine Hortick works for Bexar County. She's an attorney. They didn't do the same to Christine Hortick. They didn't tell her she needed to quit any work from Bexar County prior to her election. They didn't do that. But they told Trish DeBerry, you need to relinquish all your contracts. That's the price of running. So they endorsed her, and then they came back and took the endorsement away. Now, I'm not normally one to advertise and talk about this crap, but this is complete and total media bias. The Express News is trying to manufacture a campaign for Christine Hortick. They're trying to do anything they can to make it a race. The Democrat Hortick, there's not enough votes for her to win in Precinct 3. DeBerry should win that race. She's ran the campaign. She's earned it. She deserves it. She's there. But now the Express News jumps in and is attempting to muddy up the waters in the race to get it in a position where they can call Trish into question on her ethics. Listen to me, you people at the Express News. This is as biased as I've seen y'all in a very long time. Reversing your endorsement because she won't dump contracts before she's elected. Nobody running for office should have to dump any conflict or contracts until they're elected. That's it. Once you get elected, you should not be making money off of your position. I agree with that 100%. You should not be making money off of your elected position. So, in doing that, what they are saying is the Republican DeBerry is held to a higher standard than the Democrat Hortick, because they did not mention the fact that Christine Hortick has not stopped working at Bexar County. So you can't have it both ways. It's just completely and totally unfair. By reversing their pick, what they have done is say Republicans are held to a higher standard. Now, we already knew that, but this is the first time. This is tangible proof that the Express News is trying to get certain people elected. And they will hate you for challenging them or the system. I've been there. I get it. Brian Chasnoff is the first one to write this bullshit article that Trish never wanted to release, or she's not going to release her contracts. How dare she? She's a successful businesswoman who has contract with government entities in San Antonio and Bexar County. Oh my God. Ooh. She wasn't definitive that she was going to dump them all right now. If she wins, she should get rid of whatever is a potential conflict of interest, perceived or real. She should do that. I agree with that 100%. Hold both sides accountable, Express News. You're a total joke. What is the use of ever going before this board to ask them for an endorsement? First of all, if you're a Republican or conservative, stay the heck away from the Express News. No reason to go seek their endorsement. They will do all they can to humiliate you. And the San Antonio S fake news. That's Salo's gift right there. We love you. We love you. Forgive you, baby Jesus. 6-pound baby Jesus. Forgive Salo right now. You cannot, as you're a Republican or conservative, you cannot go ask the Express News for their endorsement. You just can't. They're going to screw you over whenever they get the chance because they just think you're ridiculous and crazy. And this kind of crap is proof positive that Democrats and Republicans are held to a different standard by the media in San Antonio. And the only way for us to get through that is to come with facts and ideas and to work your tail off to make change in San Antonio. And do not stop when they come after you. So my advice to anybody running for office, thinking about it, currently running for office, in a position where they can make a change, is when the system comes after you, keep standing tall. And remember just how much reach the Express News has. If I didn't tell you about that, chances are you never would have known. And that's why I feel kind of bad about mentioning it, because it's bullshit. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a joke what they did to her. Qualified person, single mother, CEO, just a hell of a good person. Been successful in San Antonio and right, has contracts with some companies like Saws and Brooks and some other places where we should be concerned about. If she wins, she can recuse herself, or she can relinquish a contract that maybe bring issue to the seat. And I would be the first person to tell her that. Not until you win. Until you win, there is no conflict of interest, period. So the media in San Antonio is always beating up this narrative. And if we're going to change things, right, going into May of 2021, we got big city elections coming up after November. The city machine's going to start to turn. The council and mayoral elections are coming back up again. People will be out asking to be rehired, fired, or, right, elected for a first term. Don't quit in the face of the garbage that comes from the media. It is fake news. Period. They are after conservatives and Republicans and independents. They don't play by the same rules, and they treat both sides completely differently. For us, it means walk away. Don't pay attention to these people. And remember the source when you see things like that. And then you get into arguments and fights with the media, and they start pushing you back. They call you a liar, do whatever they can. They can do the best they can. That's fine. But they'll protect their cronies and their funding streams all day long because they're trying to hang on to the tiniest bit of relevancy as our media news sources are coming from multiple places now. The Express News is a dinosaur, and we know that. And when I talked to Trish after that ridiculous removal of her endorsement, I said, hey, Trish, how many people read the Express News? Exactly. It's a garbage rag. And while it is the paper of record in San Antonio, unfortunately, it's the only newspaper we have, they showed their true colors with Trish DeBerry. Their true colors being blue. That's it. Their true color. And that to me is sad and unfortunate because both sides deserve an opportunity. People make mistakes. People can learn from them. But reporters running around the Express News thinking they got people, they're right. There's going to be another article about Trish DeBerry coming out because they're going to do all they can to help the Democrat win. If they have to create the news, which they do, fake news, if they have to create the news, they'll do it to make it happen. And there are other media outlets that are culpable, that are just as biased. You can go right down the line and read them. And it's sad and unfortunate, but if you want change in this city and you want to be a part of it, you want to run yourself, you want to get out there and support your candidate, you want to put your name on a ballot, be prepared to stand up for what you believe in. There's nothing greater than trying to affect the change in your community. It gets you going in here, man. It builds you in here. But what tears you down in here starts up here. What tears you down is the garbage you hear from the media. And it bleeds into your heart, which is the love of your community and the will to just want to do the best you can for your neighborhood. So people run in like Trish, Steve Allison, Tony Gonzalez, the Republican side of the house, Chip Roy, destroyed and demagogued unless you're one of them. They love you, right? They love throwing stones at you, excuse me. And then you got people over here like Sheriff Javier Salazar. Paper's going to give him a free ride now, just make sure he gets reelected. Never mind the fact, the 4 years of incompetence and leadership at the jail. Never mind the fact, something as simple as him campaigning in his uniform all the time. No one's going to say shit about that. They're not going to call him on that, but they'll call Trish on something ridiculous or a Republican on something minor. Don't buy it. So the best you can do is look at the whole run of it, right? And say, look, I'm watching all of it. And I got to know what the enemy's up to. And sometimes the media, 100% is the enemy. Sometimes, and some people, some of them are the enemy. They are not out for truth. They are not out for justice. They're not out for right. They are the enemy of public trust because they lie to you and create a narrative that's not true. And as we get further into it next year and into May, we start engaging back into City Hall, because right now it's all about November, man. We got to get through this. When we come back into November and we try to make a change in San Antonio, a change long coming, they're going to come after us with everything they have. They'll do it personal, they'll do it professional, and they will go after your family. People at the Express News, 100% guilty as charged. They will come after you. If you try to step out, wait your time. The Express News will attempt to destroy you. It's just a matter of time. And they'll be followed by a few other cronies like Texas Public Radio, David Martin Davies, and other people that are out there that never give any fairness to both sides. And they will come after people, and it's on us to continue to stand up in their face, to never quit, and to tell the narrative of truth every chance we get. There are no separate facts. There are no your facts and my facts. There's simply one truth. That's it. And it's on us to continue fighting and pushing and making sure it gets out there. So, wanted to talk about that. We're appreciative of everything. I think we want to just kind of wrap up here and get ready to go. We have, Saulo, I think we want to show, so we have some memes. I got to put some memes up to lighten up the mood after this weighty anti-City Hall vote. What's going to be great is when we have an opportunity and a chance, because we have to do a lot of informing right now, but eventually we can come to a point where we could talk about what we can do, right? Because we have to have ideas too. Don't forget, people, it's not enough to say something sucks. Did you hear what Siri just said right there? Siri just said, that's not nice. We can't say something just horrible and terrible. If we're going to win and we're going to get better, we have to come with ideas and defend them. We have to keep coming. We can't stop. And we'll do that. We'll do that. Right now, it's about information. It's about making sure people know, right? What are the facts when we're out there going? What are the facts? Keep pushing facts. They can't dispute the truth. They can try to lie to you about it and spin a different narrative, but the truth is the one simple fact. Let's go to some memes and let's have a couple of laughs. Nothing too outrageous tonight. What did you put up there? No, you can't be Hunter Biden for... Oh, Salo, you snuck that one in. Bro, how did you find that one?
I don't know.
Oh my God! Are you putting up another crazy one here? Mike Pence and Donald J. Trump. One of them sloshed over there. I like that one. What's Forrest Gump's password? 141. I don't know why I like that one. I'm sorry. It was wholesome. It's wholesome. It's not a Hunter Biden joke. What lights flickering mean? 1% electrical problems, 99% demons and shit. Hey, I watched last night Sinister. Have you seen this movie?
Never.
I shouldn't have watched it. By myself in the living room. Everybody was asleep, and I watched Sinister, and the lights were flickering. And I swear to God, I started saying a Hail Mary. Next. Society if people didn't eat bats for dinner. That's true, China. It's on you.
It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. Look at that. Remember that party used to be, man? My dad Could not find the Google, so I did this. That looks like everybody's dad right there. Everybody's dad trying to use the internet. What's next?
Everybody's dad look like Saddam.
Saddam Hussein's dad. Well, I mean, it's Kuzai. What's his name? Kuzai Hussein?
Mexican dad look like.
Every Mexican dad looks like Saddam Hussein. What are you talking about? That's his quote of the day right there. Is anybody out there? We have been trying to reach out about our extended warranty. I love this one, man. The world is going to hell in a pandemic. And the extended warranty guys are still hitting me on the outbound calls. Religiously, by the way. And I'm still saying no. I'm still getting extended warranties and Nigerian Prince offers for $10 million because they found my wallet.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome. Childhood crack. Yeah, that's it right there. The cocaine of our childhood. Have you seen these, how it started, how's it going now? Have you seen these things flying around? The Castro brothers did one, which was comedy. I think they meant to poke fun at each other, but it was such a truth about our system. It was awesome. That's how it started. That's how it's going. That's absolutely true. If you take that out of those Lunchables, you could almost fool your wife. You gave her, what do they call that? Charcuterie or I can't remember how it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's a cheese board. That's an idea right there for a husband, people. Husbands do that. If you ever feel useless, remember there was a cover for a Nokia phone. Anybody have that? I had that. That was awesome. Awesome. Little 80s revival right there. 90s revival. 80s kids be like my first iPod. I used to love that thing. I had it. I was an 80s kid. What you think you look like when eyeing a girl up in the club and what she sees, God, that is true. That's what they see when they look at Hunter Biden.
Wow. Beautiful.
Beautiful. What's next? We got anything next here? Good and wholesome memes, except for
Okay, here.
you got a wild meme for me. Oh my God! What are you putting up there?
I'm gonna text you.
Don't worry, ma'am. We'll find your missing dog. The sniffing jokes will never go away for Joe Biden. I'm sorry, they will never go away. But again, we can watch right now. The media is not playing anything about Hunter Biden. They're bypassing all this crap. But I tell you what right now, if that was Donald Trump Jr. with a crack pipe in his mouth, laying on a bed. You good? You got me? If that was Donald Trump Jr. with a crack pipe in his mouth, it'd be on every news station in the country, the front page of every paper. Donald Trump Jr. convicted. If that was him laying with that pipe in his mouth. That's absolutely no joke. What does that say? Star Force One.
Okay.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That's a good one. I love you, Salo. That's perfect.
I gotta take out the music for this one. Hold on. What about this one? Oh, hold on.
Salo and I are having too much fun as we wrap up Stair Force One.
This one.
What is the music bad? If you like subpoena coladas, get caught in Ukraine. When your dad's into children, you are into
You gotta
cocaine.
sing it.
If you like subpoena coladas and you're getting caught in Ukraine. When your dad's into children and you are into cocaine.
Wow. I like this one.
I cannot believe it. Best bomb photo ever. Photo bomb. Salo, I'll tell you this right now, Salo. You brighten up the memes. Don't get me wrong. I bring some memes to the game, and sometimes they're good. Sometimes. Salo brings them, and they are over the top. Salo does not stop, and he's got a gift of meme. I want to tell you that, brothers. We wrap up. Salo has the gift of meme. He absolutely does. That's why we love him. So, gotta have a little fun with it. If you got your feelings hurt, I'm sorry. Ron Nuremberg has a podcast every day, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 6:13. He'll put you to sleep. But we are going to sit here and talk about truth, justice, and the San Antonio way. We appreciate you. Dig in. Get the facts, information. At the end of the day, just vote, man. Just get out there and make it happen. Push the information out. Talk to your friends and family. Share one side of the argument. Let them share the other side, and then it'll be what it'll be, man. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. The beauty of the country, the beauty of the city and the state is that you have one chance and opportunity. You get to make your vote. He or she with the most, 50+1 wins. Usually in a presidential election, we've seen one a little less than 50, but 50 plus 1 usually gets it done. Majority rules. The vote matters. The best scoreboard is the election. Get out, make it happen. Push that trigger. Find a place to vote. Early vote ends October 30th. Election day is November 3rd. This country is on a roll to absolute change, and we are coming there for San Antonio as well. We'll keep pushing information out to make it happen. Win or lose, we don't care, man. We just want information out there. And at the end of the day, you get to make the vote, and it's all on you. We appreciate you. See you next Tuesday. The broadcast is officially out.